Yes, sorry, record.
Perfect.
Sorry.
Perfect. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. And I'm so excited to be here. There's tons of people and I love it. So without further ado, let's jump into the topic, which is how to connect with our employers. Before I begin, I would like to read to you a story. And this story comes from the heart. And I think Caroline, she's with us here today, and she has read the story as well. And the story goes as follows. Let me actually show you the story because this is something that I think really touched my heart. If you can see my screen, this is Dennis Mackey, and this is her journey. She asked if we recall the feeling when we receive a long awaited phone call from a recruiter to learn that you got the job you have been after. And she did not feel that. And she's been searching for a job for the past 6 months. She's had 7 interviews, two of which were study programs, no results yet, and the remaining were proper jobs according to her kind of criteria. And on one hand, she's happy that she was invited for interviews. It means that her profile was generally considered. And she says in most cases, even shortlisted from around hundreds of applicants. And I think that's definitely a great sign. That means she has a very good CV. The second last chapter, if you guys look with me, it says, I am not good as a seller, as I have not been able yet to convince my recruiter about my qualities, or so it feels. I do not look for mistakes in other people, but rather analyze my own strengths and weaknesses. As a result, my analysis is that it is fine to feel sad and disappointed for a while, yet then I must continue. I really like her perseverance. I really like how Denisa, she has put our journey. I think who shares this a similar journey with Denisa, you can definitely give me a thumbs up or give me something so that I know you guys are on the same page. All right, I can see Joseph, you have a thumbs up already. Yes, yes, some of us actually have been through this. Exactly. And she takes a great proverb from a Japanese proverb that says, oh, a lot of hands are up, a lot of hands are up. All right, amen to that. Hopefully this will change after this workshop. Now, the Japanese proverb that she shared with us was fall down 7 times, stand up the eighth. And I think it's very powerful because it's definitely a journey and nothing happens in a day. So it's a journey. And as you can see, Empower Wednesdays takes you week after week to help you through that journey. And hopefully it will be a very, very successful one. With that being said, I'd like to a little bit introduce to you guys Science Pictures, how we started. And we started from the lab. It was me and my best friend, Khalil. We are both doctoral holders from the University of Turku. And our journey started by communication and our interest in what is actually happening when people speak and why are they winning. You can call us nerds. I think we were a little bit nerdy because we were like looking at the science behind pitching and behind storytelling. And we developed a little model. We love models because we're, again, a little bit nerdy. And the model worked in 2017. I tried it in a competition called 3-minute thesis. Then the second year, we needed another laboratory rat, and that was Khalil himself. And he won the competition. As a matter of fact, we were able to go internationally with it. And we realized that also in America, for example, people were able to use the model and be able to get investments and get awards when it comes to communication and storytelling. So we started sharing it with many people, both in the entrepreneurial societies and in the academia. And I think mostly in the academia because this is where our hearts lie. We are academics at heart. And it seemed that things are, there's been a lot of interest. And most recently, we had one of our, the people we've worked with, one of our friends, Sharif, he was able to also communicate authentically from the heart. And we remember he entered a competition against people from Harvard University in the United States. And he was telling me, he's like, what does an Egyptian, like researcher like himself, Sharif, will do against people from the United States? And I told him, I think universality is always holding true. Like, in this workshop, we can tell you guys the top 25 list of questions that employers can ask. But I think we can go to something a bit more universal. And luckily, there's 5 universal things that we'll go over today. So not too many. We're happy to say that we've worked with a lot of talents and innovators and scholars, and as well as businesses and entrepreneurs. So it's definitely been an exciting journey. And most recently this year, we've also been able to, and last year as well, we've been to give a few workshops specifically for interviews. And yesterday I was on a panel on Clubhouse that was discussing about interview skills and kind of how to get the job basically. And funny enough, we got an interesting question, and this question really like resonated with me because the gentleman yesterday, he asked, he said, I am an engineer, but I don't like engineering. And I'm like, wait a minute. If I give you the 5 steps that we have developed in the lab and you don't even want to apply for this job, so why are you even applying? And one of the panelists on the meeting, he said something wonderful. He said, if you want to know where to apply, try to find out what you're passionate about and what you're actually good at, regardless of passion, and what you can make money from. And hopefully, how these circles intersect could be your future career. So I think it goes without saying that before we pursue, we need to know if this is what we want to do. Long story short, our journey today is fantastic at Science Pictures because we meet a lot of great people like yourselves. And because of you, we are at 700 plus people today. And I think there's about, was it 40 of us or even more in this room. So I'm really, really happy to be with you. And I just want to remind you something that this is one of the many ways we can say our stories. And we are just here to spark and to start the fire. And of course, in this journey, we're all going to be working hand in hand with one another and definitely will be empowering ourselves, just like Empower Wednesday is doing. So without further ado, I would like to say that you are the hero in the story. And I hope now with Zoom and a lot of interviews are happening, I hope you're wearing something more than the superhero underwear, maybe some pants. And if you're not, just give me a thumbs up so I don't ask you to stand up and help us with some stretches. So thank you guys, and let's begin the day. Things to keep close is let's have a device to tell the time. We're going to be having an engaging workshop, so we will go into mini rooms. So for instance, our first exercise is starting very soon. We will be put in rooms of 2 people, and Lucia is working on it right now. She's making the rooms for us. There's going to be 1 person with you. And I love this question. I love to start with this question, which is, what is your story? So you'll be with a person, you'll speak with them, you'll get to know their story. And as the day goes, we'll have more and more interactive kind of questions and answers. Before we begin, I would like to return the floor to you, the audience, to all of you here with us today. I would like to hear a bit from you about the things that you would like to learn on this journey. So I will close my presentation and I will give the mic to you here today. Who has something? You can raise your hand, and please tell me, what do you hope from today's session? What are you looking for from today's session? And hopefully we'll cover it throughout the day. If you have something you would like to say, please do raise your hand and you can unmute yourself.
Well, yeah.
Yes, you have one for it. Go for it. Yes.
I'm trying to find if there's any reaction to actually do it visually instead of just no, but I couldn't find it and I started talking already. So
no worries. Go for it.
What do I expect from this is I've been telling this over and over again that I'm quite a capable person, and I think my CV is maybe a bit academically heavy, but I still am trying to show my applicable skills that I gained through this journey. But that's the problem where I hit a wall that I don't think I have good understanding of advertising myself. I really sell myself short, and also I don't have a fancy words to describe myself or like how to paraphrase my skills or my abilities or my experience in a way that people would think, oh, okay, this is very impressive. I mean, to me, it is impressive. Of course, it's just me, but I just don't know how to communicate that to explain. And I haven't gotten a lot of interviews actually. I only gotten one from Finland, and I've been applying for more than a year now. So yeah, dire need of selling myself. I don't like to say
Sure,
it, but
dire
that's
need
the thing.
of selling yourself. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And this is something I think a lot of us here today have in common, is that we are actually professionals in what we do. And one thing is like, okay, is there something else? Like I know all these technical things, but for some reason it's not moving forward. Absolutely. We'll go over that during the day. Thank you for the point. Thank you so much. Thanks. Yes, Akshandra?
Yeah, hi. So, hi, Tarek, once again, nice to meet you. And yeah, so
Likewise.
just one second. Just had this small technical thing. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I was,
No
yeah,
worries.
nice to meet you again. And so, what I was like expecting that, okay, uh, what I feel is like life is about selling and marketing and like negotiation. You need it in every department, whether you're selling yourself to a prospective interviewer, or whether you're going to like say sell it to a prospective client, or whether you're going to sell yourself to prospective date. You need selling everywhere. And this is where like
That's true.
I'm more of a generalist. I'm always like a more of a generalist, always thinking in terms of principles. So, what I was expecting more is like principles rather than hacks, rather than some shortcuts, and rather than some like tricks to get into someone's pants, whether it's be interview or whether it be date. I want the basic, the deeper principles from which we can derive other things. So those will be really useful. And also I kind of sometimes have this tendency of overselling. Like, they say there's something that there's a wise saying by someone like Robin Sharma. He reminds me of you. Both look similar, both of you guys. Okay, so this author basically is a world famous, world famous author, and he basically says that like undersell yourself, undersell, and then over deliver. So I have had like job interviews in which I oversold myself, and then the job was so tough because they're like, okay, now you oversold yourself, prove it. And then it's like, then it becomes, oh my god, what did I get myself into? So something
That's
like
an excellent point.
something like selling yourself for the Finnish local market, where they're like, hey, play it down, be modest, be humble,
Exactly.
something like more like selling yourself to Finnish clients, something like that. So yes, that would be really
Got you.
interesting.
Got you. Absolutely, Akshandra. This is an excellent point. Is that how about we do it, but not way too over the top, so that
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah,
actually dig
yeah.
our own grave with our own hands.
Yeah, yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
And
Thank
this
you.
workshop is exactly what you talked about. It will be about the principles. So no shortcuts, no top 25 questions, all this stuff. No, no, no. We're going down to the core. And I'd actually like to start going down to the core. If Lucia is ready, I would
Hope
like
so.
to start the. Yes, you are? Okay, good. Okay, before we begin, we have just one more. Joseph, floor is yours.
Hi, so thank you for making your time available. So what I'm hoping to
Pleasure.
get out of is similar as the speaker before, and it's so I'm from Australia, the UK, so we're very open, and sometimes I think I maybe appear too confident in interviews when I'm just being myself, and it's like um, I'm in the finance roles and they're very reserved, that I found in Finland. And sometimes it appears like they don't believe what I'm saying. I have broad experience. And then when I'm trying to explain that, it seems sometimes it's like maybe I'm applying for internship roles and graduate positions that I'm too overqualified. I've been told a lot of times after the interview, and that they don't understand why I'm applying for the internship and graduate positions. But obviously, I'm applying to get the foot in the door.
Foot in the door.
And with my motivation letter, that comes across. But then in the interview, it always seems like I am maybe too overconfident, and I get comfortable very easily. Like, I'm nervous before the interview, but then once I get in, I have no nerves. Like, maybe I'm a bit lucky, but I just don't feel nervous. I just start talking and I can just click really fast. And I think sometimes that puts the thin interviewers off, because they just think maybe, is he too kind of cocky or something? So I don't know how to turn that down. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to maybe get, like a balance. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's an excellent point. And we have a part specially dedicated for that, Joseph. So I'll be calling you out on it when it comes. and let's see if we can do something on it together. Absolutely. That's a good point. All right. I think that's great. We are ready to rumble. All right. So, Lucia, we have, guys, the first exercise of the day. We will be in pairs. So you and a totally random person will be with you in a room. And I would like each one of you to take a minute and a half, just a minute and a half, to say what is your story. So one person will be speaking for 1 minute and a half sharp. What is your story? And then you will stop, and the other person will say what is their story, and you'll listen to them for 1 minute and a half. And then we'll all come back to this room once again. Is it clear?
Let's see if I can make it happen.
All right, Lucia, let's make it happen. Teleport us.
I try. Finger crossed, guys.
All right, finger crossed. Yes, I think we need to click join. Exactly.
I think
We have
there are few
able
people
to move
that
them
did.
manually as well.
Let me try. I've never done it in my life. So maybe I put, yeah. Pasta. Yes, there are some room with more people. Okay.
Okay, we need them all to be 2 in the room.
But it is not even, and some people didn't join, so I cannot make it 2. How can I? Some people decided not to join. You understand?
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm trying to do my best.
All right, thank you.
Let me check. Now this one alone, poor guy. One is alone, and he is Alex. I'm 22. I'm checking. So Aram, you didn't enter.
You know.
Yes, one second.
Lamia is still with us.
Let me try. I can, where do I put you, my friend? Room 23. Room 23.
Oh, yes. I'm getting a request now. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
And we have Lenka.
No, because Lenka didn't want to enter. That was the problem. That it created a bit of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he has 2 profiles, and
Gotcha.
there is Livia that she's not in any room because she's alone. So I'm gonna move somebody in room 24.
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
sorry.
Oh yeah, there was a room with more than 2, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much. Welcome back.
Thank you. There are some people that are asking for help. I hope that stands up. Okay, Marco, can you hear me? Marco, I just noticed that you joined our session. Maybe you didn't join with the audio. Because unfortunately, some people join rooms and then disconnect. And so we have another person that is alone in the room. And she's the only one alone. So I asked her to come out. Maybe she can talk with us. What do you say?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Arjun.
Hey, Arjun.
Hi.
Arjun.
Yes.
You
Sorry,
were
alone in the room.
Yes, I was. So.
I'm sorry, people
right,
are
so
just
what we
connected and
do?
disconnected.
Sorry?
I think a few people got disconnected, so we weren't able to put you with somebody. But now I think you have Adam.
Okay.
And Christine. Okay, it seems to be us that we're getting more people.
Yes. To make things more easier.
To make things. Oh my God. Where was my empowering cousin when we needed him?
Yeah, cousin, where are you? But no, Adam and Christina,
But you're doing
welcome
great,
to the
Sophia. Thank you.
session. As much as I can. So welcome, Adam and Christina. Welcome to the session. And people are now in the break room. They're gonna talk. Maybe Tarek, you can explain better than me, but if you can stay maybe here and we can chat among each other. I don't break you in any room. Tarek, do you want to explain what they should do?
Yes. So basically, in this first exercise of the day, we want to know what is your story. And I think me and Anastasia is back. Okay, more people are back. I think the time of the room was over.
Oh
no, I didn't
Anastasia,
put any time.
No, time wasn't over, but we decided like 3 minutes over. So
good. 3 minutes over. All right, let's close all the rooms and we'll all come back here.
Okay, great.
Yes. Let's close all the rooms.
I just say like I give like 30 seconds.
Okay, sure.
I'm polite.
Have you disconnected us, or were we disconnected? Oh,
I think Lucia is giving 30 seconds.
Yes.
For everybody.
Okay.
Or was it disconnected automatically?
No.
But you
it was not. Okay.
Suddenly I couldn't hear her anymore. I thought there was a problem with my computer, but it's not. I'm back.
All right.
Welcome back.
Good. Welcome back. So
I close the room.
Okay, perfect.
They give her extra 60 seconds to.
Excellent. I think a lot of people are already joining back with us. Welcome back, everybody. I see a lot of smiley faces. That's good. All right. How did it go, guys? How did it go? I would like a volunteer. All right, Tarek.
Welcome back, everybody.
Great. Excellent. Tarek, you know what? I'm going to put you on the spot, Tarek.
Oh, sorry, Anastasia. Starting to talk topics.
Yeah.
I think it was excellent. And
you'll go next, Anastasia.
Yeah, I think that what I noticed, it was good that Jessica, my partner, she told me about her soft skills more than about working experience. It was very good and very impressive.
All right. How about you introduce Jessica to us? That would be very interesting.
She is from UK, so she's an English native speaker. That's a great plus for the company who looks for such a person, I think, and she can manage projects also.
Nice.
Lives in Turku. Yeah, and that's it, and studies at the university. But I noticed that she has a background with projects leading projects and managing them.
Very nice. Leading projects and managing them. That is really nice. So we know now a bit more about actually Jessica from just a minute and a half. We know a lot, as a matter of fact. Like, we can go in depth and we can analyze this. I think this is the beauty of it. Thank you so much, Anastasia. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And nice to meet you, Jessica. I have met Jessica before, but like, nice to meet you again, Jessica, in front of everybody.
Nice.
All right.
Hi.
Thank you. Hey, Jessica. And maybe we can take another quick example of more people in the rooms. So Tarek, yes, could you please introduce to us your partner?
So I had the pleasure to meet Ekaterina. She's originally from Russia, and you can call her Kate. She has a very interesting background. Yeah, she moved to Finland 7 years ago, and she studied chemical engineering, which is a very amazing topic to study. A lot of people need it nowadays. But then she started applying for jobs, and then people she didn't find the reaction that she needed from the recruiting agencies. And then now she's studying UX and UI, which is basically service design. So I think the combination of the two backgrounds with the chemical engineering and UX UI is just magnificent, because the world needs more people like Kate. So I had the honor to meet her.
I agree. Thank you so much, Tarek, and thank you for really crystallizing. Exactly, that's the thing. Like, the jack of all trades actually helps a lot. It's a world like already also we have been hearing throughout the day, when you have these different skills, it does make you special. Like, I'm so happy that she's owning it. And thank you so much, Tarek, and thank you so much, Kate. Nice to meet you. All right, that's good. Now we have kind of like, we can see a pattern here. Let me actually show you the pattern that we can see. So I've been writing notes here, and as I was writing, I was like, okay, hold on a second. This is exactly what Aristotle said 2,000 years ago. Maybe Lucia knows this already, but he talked about when you have a speech that relies on examples, you are very persuasive. And that's kind of what we did now. We're already using skills at an intuitive level. We're using this 2,000-year-old wisdom. We're using the examples, and we're becoming persuasive. People are like, yeah, Kate is a cool person. I see what's going on here. And I would like to rerun the session. So Lucia, I would need your help one more time. Let's go again, guys, in the same rooms, with the same people. I know Lucia's like, oh no, with the same people in the same rooms. Let's ask a different kind of question. I hope you still have the rooms ready. But the question that we will ask each other will be, what is the story that makes... You don't? All right, you can prepare it while I introduce the exercise. And the question is, what is...
ready. When you're ready.
Okay, good. So the question is, what is the story that makes you the person you are today? So with the same people, the same pairs, you're going to be retelling a story about what... Arjun, I'll be in a room with you. Me and Arjun, please keep us here in the main room. Me and Arjun are going to run the session together. So yes, anytime, Arjun, anytime. So for everyone else, you will be in the same rooms with the same people, and you'll answer, what is the story that makes you the person you are today, the great person you are today, the awesome person you are today, the person that is sitting in Empower Wednesdays today. And this time, we'll give you a bit more time. We will give you 2 whole minutes to answer that question. So one person will say the story that made them the person they are today in 2 minutes. The other person will listen, and then we will switch the roles. The other person will say, and the other person will listen. All right, Christine, no problem. Well, it seems that Arjun, now you have a pair. You have a partner. So Lucia, if it's possible, we can keep Arjun and Christine together.
Try my best. Let's open.
Yes, perfect. If everybody is good, give me a thumbs up.
I go.
Everyone's good. Let's do it. Yes, please open the rooms and let's get ready to rumble.
So, who do we have to pair?
I think it was Arjuna and Christine.
We can put them in red. Give them a room.
All right. Can you give them a room? If not, yes.
Adam, no, Arjun.
Arjun and Arjun.
Arjun, where are you, my friend? I don't see Arjun.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Arjun went somewhere.
I think I scared the other one.
I'm here.
Lucia,
I think my second person.
Okay, and now I create a room from.
Oh.
Wait a second.
So you're having a technical problem,
so, okay, I'm gonna do my best. Yeah. Okay, let me try my best. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, why don't I see it?
I'm the only one in Lucia. Oh, I'm expecting.
Hey, Swati.
Hello.
Did you lose your room?
Yeah, I mean, I was told that I will be with Lucia in the room, and I know Lucia is one of the organizers. Hello.
Oh, don't worry, I put you with Arjun.
Okay.
Swati, which room were you?
Arjun is back.
Room number.
Yeah, because no one was there.
Yeah, same is with me. Like I was also alone in my room, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for me it's the second time.
I don't see you anymore.
I can maybe help if you give me host permissions.
Okay.
Sorry?
Go.
Do I join this room or
yes,
what do I do?
Yes.
Okay.
Do join.
I hope I get a partner there. Bye.
You are there.
Yes, a lot of people feel alone, Tarek.
Go in your rooms.
I don't know. I wasn't allocated to any room so far.
Yes, you were in room 11.
Or on Biba Consultancy.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, what is your name?
Perfect. Rinse.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Rinse or Vince?
No, that's why I call Orondiba, because the name is difficult. Rinse with an R. Like in Tarek, the letter.
Got you. So, Rinse, it seems that you also don't have a partner.
Yeah, I do now. I see Mekumi again, but I think she had technical problems.
I dropped from the line for some reason. I wasn't able to come back.
So Lucia did a good job, but I was alone in the room, so I thought I'd go back because Mikuma is having problems. And the last session was the same thing. She suddenly left the room.
Yeah, I dropped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same here.
Got you. All right, Ayush, could you move to could you join? What is it called? Room 21. Are you able to join room 21?
Okay, I can try.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, I can still join room 615, I see.
Okay, you can go to room 21 as well.
Oh.
Yeah. And Swati and Arjun, I put you in. Swati and Arjun, I put you in room 11, but you have to accept the invitation, otherwise you will be always with us.
No, I was alone.
Swati, you have to accept that because Swati didn't accept.
I did not see any invitation on my screen, so will it be somewhere else?
Can you click the breakout room, Swati, down below? There's breakout rooms. You can click join breakout room.
Yes, sorry. Now I got it. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. All right, no problem, no problem. Anytime.
Tarek, you make me sweat.
Good job, Lucia. Good job. Fantastic job. Oh my God. This was like, I was like, okay, this is hard. Good job. Nice.
Okay, I sent a message
Very
that
nice.
you have a couple of minutes more because people have technical problems. Okay.
Yes. Give them exactly. Give them just about 2 minutes. Couple of minutes is perfect. It's perfect. 2 or 3 minutes even. It's completely fine.
Participa. So there is somebody that is in a room alone. Diana, Mayo.
Hey,
Joanna was in a room alone. So Mayo, we put it in.
No, Mayo and me were in a room together.
Ah, okay.
Okay,
yeah.
Very nice.
Came back. Thank you. And okay, there is one in the room alone. We're gonna call him back, Tarek, and we're gonna let him speak with you. What do you say about that?
I'll join him there. See you soon.
Okay, thank you. So Diana and I, we had some technical problems because some people have bad connection and so left their partners alone. So we just give a few minutes more so people could actually start the talk.
No worries. We'll wait.
For your patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a bit frustrating that I dropped from the line. This is the third time about today.
But I'm having problem myself. He's saying all the time that my connection is low, but I hope he will hold on. Megumi, I make you co-host again, so at least some of us, some of us will be online.
Yeah, please do, but I lost all the chat already.
Oh, but don't worry, I'm recording.
You have the whole, yeah.
Don't
and
worry.
now I can do the breakout room too.
You know, stay with me. Tell me your story.
My story is that I've been in Finland a bit too long.
Yeah, now it's time to come to Italy with me.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind some, I don't know, until summer.
Yeah, it's warm here today, like 15, 16 degrees.
Mm-hmm. Elena can teach me Italian and your parents, and I will babysit.
That's great. Deal. What do we have to sign?
Yeah, maybe I can even cook.
Then you will be like here forever.
So would you give me what is it now until June or something? 5 months contract?
Yes, I do that. Okay, I'm gonna close the room now.
Yeah.
We are closing rooms in a minute. Okay. I feel like the big brother now.
You control everybody. Yeah.
What are you doing, people?
Do I dare to turn on the video? I may drop again.
Anastasia, where are you based?
I'm from Moscow. So you mean there I live now in Helsinki?
Helsinki, okay.
Yeah.
Great. How long have you been?
In Helsinki for 5 years. Yes, I'm here 5 years.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a native.
Almost.
Don't feel like that, but
almost.
I just started to understand Finnish, so yes, something happened.
Yeah, it clicked. One day you just realize, like, oh, I understand this language.
Yeah, all of a sudden. At some
Yes,
point.
right.
Welcome back, everybody. Excellent. Good to see everybody coming in bit by bit, trickling back to the room. That's fantastic. And we had a few glitches along the way, but we are managing superbly fine. Thanks to Lucia. She's managing everybody. She's putting people into the rooms. So good job, Lucia. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is like, we have a huge number here. So being able to work with everybody at the same time, wow. Like she's almost handpicking everybody back. So we have a big round of applause. Thank you, Arjun.
Yeah, it's a good job. I'm getting rather seasick, but going back and forward, yeah. But you do a good job. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Roughed up, like, go to this room, come back.
It's like, why are you pulling me? All right, so now that we're back.
I'm being pushed and pulled.
Exactly. Now that we're back, let's look a little bit if the answers changed. I'd like to start with our volunteers from previous session. Anastasia, could you reintroduce Jessica to us?
This is tricky, you know.
Yeah, because, I know.
Because I have short memory.
Okay, no problem. Whatever you remember.
Jessica told me that her study work changed her very much, and she now is able to work with lots of people, to be in huge projects, and she is very interested in it also. What else? She wants to live in Turku because she feels like it's a perfect place for her, and she is ready to start to work. And please don't waste international talent because she's ready. Yeah,
nice, very nice.
Amen.
I like the initiative. Amen. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anastasia. And once again, thank you, Jessica. Now we get to see a different side of Jessica. How about Tarek and Ekaterina?
Well, I don't know.
Please tell us a bit more about Ekaterina.
Kate keeps getting more interesting and interesting every time I go to this breakout room. So it's her curiosity what made her who she is now. Like she left her country because she was curious to come to Finland and explore more. And everyone was telling her like, why she was worried, why should you go? And she just took the decision and she did it. And now she's in Finland with 2 different majors. And she's happy. She's just having some hard time because of the corona now. So she wants to meet people in her class and interact with them, but it's all about chats and meeting on Zoom. So hopefully the corona will end soon and she will get all what she deserves.
I hope so too. But this is really nice. Thank you so much, Tarek. Like you said, getting more interesting and interesting. Is it because we gave them more time, or is it because we switched up the question? Potato. But I think we're going somewhere. And if we see this, if we see what's happening now, what happened with Jessica and what happened with Kate was a bit different. And I will tell you one more story, and that's about Johan. Johan, I was with him in a room, and I right away jumped into deep waters with him. I'm like, all right, so tell me, what story that makes you the person you are today? And he said, like how personal do I get? I told him, like, you just follow your gut. How personal do you want to be? And he actually told me something really interesting, is that he was, let's say, he started discovering who he actually is as a tactile person and how he does things in a certain way. He has a worldview, as to say, and his worldview is changing to become more, let's say, like liberal and more accepting of different worldviews. And that to him was very powerful. As a matter of fact, actually, he took about 18 months. Was it a bit shorter than 18 months to reach that? But this tells us something about Johan, just like it did about Jessica, just like it did about Kate. And I'll show you what that is, because for some funny reason, they all did what, once again, 2000 years old have been talked about, which said, this Mr. Aristotle, he realized that when people give examples, they're persuasive. When they give us stories that are implicit, not explicit, but implicit, and those are the enthymemes, they call it enthymeme, they excited a louder applause. And that's exactly what we did in the second time. We said things like, okay, I want to stay in Turku. I left home from Russia. I'm a curious person because I want to see the world. These stories are what made us think, I like this candidate. You see, the first story was, let me show you. The first story was a bit about the CV. You know, this is what I am. This is who I do. But the second story had a lot more about values. This is what I stand up for. And my question to you before we go on our first break is, how about during your next interview? Can you also implicitly connect with your future work colleagues? Can you show who you really are past your CV? All right, we will take 5-minute break and let's come back at 5 o'clock, around 5 o'clock, 5:01 to be precise. And we'll continue with the second part of the day. All right, I'll use the toilet real quick and I'll be back. See you guys soon. Good to see you, Prashani.
Good to see you too, Tarek, again.
Oh, yes. Thank you for being here with us today.
Of course, it's for me to learn.
I'm glad. I'm really, really happy to hear that.
Thank
all right,
you
everybody.
for doing this.
My pleasure. My pleasure. We're all in this together. And especially with the next exercise, because we're definitely in this together. Welcome back, everybody. And now we can continue the day. Hey, Ayush. And so I hope we had some time to think and reflect that, okay, is it possible for us to talk between the lines, to say the stories that make us the people we are today, and to be able to combine them along with our CV, of course. Our skills are important. However, it seems that human beings like to connect at a deeper level, at the values. And okay, so why are you the chemical engineer you are today? Why are you doing this? Why are you a project manager? These little things go a mile. And that, I can say confidently, that is definitely the story that makes you the person you are today. But the second part of the day is what makes them awesome. So we know now what makes us the people we are today, but what makes them the people they are today? And this is very vital in any interview to do. They say, do your research, but why do we even want to do our research? Because one of the things that are very important to potential employers is that they are proud of what they do. They create services and they create products. And when they know that we know what they have been working for or been working on for the past while, it creates this new lens. It creates this new lens of appreciation from us to them. And it also creates humility from us to them. So if I'm going to an employer and say, yeah, I've been following you and I really liked that post in 2013 on Twitter when you talked about your new sustainability projects that you're doing with your industry. It shows that you know what they're talking about. You know the values that they stand for. So I want to open the room for discussion between us all here today to have some kind of examples from your personal journey when looking at potential employers about let's say the weird things that you were able to uncover, and they might be good weird, of course, things that you were able to uncover when you were doing a research about them. So I want somebody, for example, to share with us a story that they've been to an interview and they did the research and one strange thing that popped up. It's a hard question. Okay, Joseph.
So it happened a few years ago in Finland for a management consulting company, and I won't mention the name. But it was a story I always tell people because it was just really weird for them to say in the interview. And it was basically he was comparing his salary to the graduate position, and he was saying basically he doesn't earn that much more than what I would if I got the job. And then made a joke about if he was in America, he'd be on like 6 times more money. And then he said like a little kind of joke about Finnish socialism works right or something like that. And I thought that was like a really weird but obviously funny thing to say. And that's probably the strangest thing that's ever happened to me in an interview, where he just automatically talked about his kind of own salary, and that it wasn't obviously high enough that he thought. And I don't know about other people's sectors, but in finance, that's another thing I was going to ask later. A lot of people get into finance just for the money. So it's like they don't really want to talk about what they're good at. They just care about if they're good at making money. So it was like, well, how could you approach that if you're not interested in about making money? And how can I relate to those people that are investment bankers, that they go on how much money they made in the deal rather than, all the other things.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. So there was many things here. I'll try to take a few of the things that you mentioned. I think there's a lot of wisdom here. The first one, I'll put more stress on it, which is how he right away started telling you about the social system and how we're all paying a lot of taxes and I get paid very little, yada, yada, yada. Have you been able to know this fact before the interview?
Yeah, I knew, like in Finland, high taxes, and I know it's very compared to America and England and Australia, like it's very, the pay doesn't vary between a lot of hierarchy. Like CEOs don't get paid that much, more.
The pay gap is quite small.
Yes.
And that's an excellent point. So maybe this is something that's quite interesting is, for example, as we do our research, and I think Joseph, I'm going to stress on this, as we are doing our research and we know that, for example, the CEO is having this very little, let's say, pay, little salary. It's, of course, it makes them feel a lot more comfortable when they know beforehand that you have this knowledge. Like, for example, you could easily just drop it. Like, yeah, we pay a lot of taxes, but we have great education, right? Best education in the world. So, having this kind of idea that I know what you're about, just communicating it can go very far. And that's why, as you knew, one little thing is like you drop it, because definitely people are subconscious, especially when they're hiring somebody as qualified as you, Joseph. Like you're quite experienced. So they're like, they're itching for it. They're like, we want you, but we can't afford you. So labeling things out. And I think this is very important. Labeling things out and labeling things that we know what you're about. We know that you don't pay high. I know that for a fact, and I'm okay with it. I'm still applying for the job regardless. This can go far enough, because it shows that you know why they're awesome, and it's probably beyond monetary values. Thank you, Joseph, for this point. How about Sev Can? You had unmuted your mic earlier.
No, yeah, I did. But my name is Sevcan, by the way. It's very hard, apparently, for anybody other than Turkish people to pronounce it. But sorry. Anywho, what I was going to say is that...
Sevcan? Is it Sevcan?
Yeah. The question wasn't super hard, but it was hard because I've never gotten the chance to be in an interview. That's my biggest problem. So that's why I am muted.
Okay. Yeah. We actually have a question from the chat, Tarek, that is from Zajal, and she's asking me, how do you pitch yourself when you don't have so much work experience and relying on your skills/values?
The upcoming exercise is exactly answer to that. It's part 3 of the day. So now we're part 2. We're gonna get to that, Sajal, for sure. Thank you, Sajal, for the question. We will go over that. Christine?
Yes, I want to share. Actually, I was late because I was in the job interview. Yeah, and actually, I want to share a little. This is a startup company. Of course, I'm not going to tell the name of the company. And then
sure.
They are very busy at the moment, and they need like the person very soon. But I want to see like from how they are doing it. So they were established by like some co-workers, like 2 or 3 people. And then one of them has very idealistic vision. And then like the company has been like 4 years, and then now it's like the stage where they are going to kind of really kind of start it. So I think this is very interesting company, because they what I will do now, if I'm accepted, I will need to connect like 2 very expert people. One is another field, and then one is another field. And then this CEO like vision to the future is like she wants to sell like her product like to all of the world. Yeah, but like at the moment it's very busy. So I think what made them able to stay like 4 years, 5 years until now is because of this dream of the CEO, and then also like the friendship. Yeah, because like the CEO is very like active, and then like dreamy, but like she has a friend which is like kind of nice, and then like maybe kind of listen to her. That's why like they are matching. Yeah. So that's I think like how they become it like now.
Very excellent point. Very excellent point. And Christine, thank you so much for the addition. Lucia, sorry, that was a typo. But back to Christine, thank you for the addition. The thing is, this is so important because what we're trying to do here today is exactly that, is that we're trying to put ourselves out there. We are definitely showing vulnerability on our side. We're definitely showing something a lot more genuine and a lot more than our skills, because we are a combination of a person and skills. And we're trying to do that to the interviewer, to drop the professionalism. Of course, it will still be there, but to drop that mask and to be working with people to create a goal. That's exactly what we're trying to do as well today. So thank you, Christine, for highlighting this, because it's so important. You can see people with very weird skills, but what gets them together is maybe beyond the skills. So now the second part of the day is actually knowing our interviewer, knowing them, knowing the company, doing a research, and it goes very far. And for example, I know a girl, she was applying for MIT. She wanted to do a PhD in MIT. During my time in Minnesota, we were discussing like, okay, so like, what's the angle? And we did a little bit of interviews, like we were sparring, just like Caroline was also sparring with some people. And interestingly enough, she was like, I want to tell them about my friend who is in their program, but I'm scared. And I was like, why? And she's like, I'm scared because like, you know, like, I don't know how to say it. And I was like, just drop the name. Just drop the name. You know what? What is your friend? Like, why do you look up to your friend? She's like, my friend is like the best person and stuff. She's like, I look up to her because she was, before joining MIT, she was one person. And after MIT, she's a total different person. Her worldview changed like day and night. She's a lot more organized. She's a lot more specific about what she wants. She's a lot more focused. And that's why I really want to join the program. I'm like, say it. And she did say it. And she did get the position. So I think name dropping really goes a long way. Like when people know that you know people they know, they start, for some reason, it's a human thing and it's a bias for sure. But people go like, wait, you know Martha? That's interesting. We know her too. And she's a person we worked with, and okay, good people usually know good people. So definitely networking goes again with the research. You can start to get to know people. You can have different angles to it, like you know what they're about, you know the types of people they work with, and this will also tell you if it's a company you want to work there or not. It's also important for that. Now let's get to the pitching, and that's the funnest part of the day. We will be talking about a little bit of stories. Now, Lucia has been preparing for us a new room, and that room will have 3 people in it. All right, we will be in triplets. We'll be in rooms with triplets, and in this room we will be saying what is the story behind our career choice. So if you are applying for a certain job at the moment, please tell the people with you who are kind of like potential interviewers, tell them what is the story of your career choice. And you have a lot of time. You have 2 minutes per person to say that story. So 2 minutes each, you will be sharing the story. And as you say it in 2 minutes, you can also get 1 minute of feedback. And the feedback can be, for example, it could be definitely a positive comment. Oh, I like this. It's quite interesting how you start to look at the bigger picture. Or it could be not only positive feedback, it could be a question like, that's an interesting story. Thank you. What about this little part? It was not clear for me. Of course, these questions will help you as a storyteller and as you're pitching yourself to kind of hone down your story a bit more. Does that sound clear to all of us? So in 2 minutes, what's the story behind? All right, perfect. I can see the thumbs up and I can see that. All right, good. So Lucia, are we ready to teleport?
Are we ready? Yes. Let's go. Let's finger crossed.
Do it. All right, let's be pushed now. Excellent. Very good. Perfect. Very, very good. Amazing. Amazing. Good job. You are Mozart today. You're orchestrating the whole thing. Thank you. This is good.
No worries. Not every room
And
has
this
3
room-
participants, but at least everybody has 2. So.
Okay, perfect. If at least 2, great, great. Let's see. 333.
So when do you want me to call them
just
back? In
one
2
room.
minutes?
In 10 minutes, yes.
10.
Yeah,
So 26.
yes. I gave them 2 minutes per person, 1 minute feedback. So that's more or less 3 minutes per person. So 3 is 9. Let's give them 10.
There are people joining now. Shall I admit?
Yeah. We get her and we throw her in that room with 2 people. Hey, Anna, can you hear us? Anna? Anna, are you here?
She was not ready.
I don't know if Anna can hear us.
I don't think she has a mic. She only has a camera. I don't see her mic.
Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. Maybe that's why she's not able to connect with us.
Anna, even if you don't have makeup, you can show yourself. Yeah, now that she has a mic now. But anyway, she's fine with us. Tarek, when do you want to answer to the questions? I have 2 questions from the chat.
Let me see them again. So the first one will be answered in this exercise. And the last part will be, okay, tips, pitfalls or tips when definitely will be answered last for sure.
So I don't need.
So these questions will be answered. No, you can. Yeah.
So I will
sure.
just
you
in the
don't
chat.
need to like write them down or anything.
I will just write in the chat that thank you for the questions. Tarek will answer them. Okay, just to acknowledge that we.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Great idea. Great idea. Yes.
So Sajal.
Yeah, I acknowledged Sajal as he asked, but I haven't yet acknowledged Reach.
I will acknowledge Reach.
Thank you.
Sajal and Reach for your questions. Direct. We answer them during our session. Okay. Voila. Anna, whenever you feel that you want to unmute yourself, we can send you to one of the break rooms if you are hearing us. So just show us you're alive. So 6 minutes more.
Hello, Lucia.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. You're
Lucia. This is Anna from India.
Hi, Anna. We are doing an exercise.
Okay, sorry, I joined late. Sorry, I missed the track. I'm not aware what is going. So,
all right, let me fill you in quickly.
Okay.
All right, so Anna, here's what's going to happen. Right now, we're going through little elements to connect with our story and how it made us choose the job that we chose today, or choose the career that we are pursuing today. So let's assume right now you will be going for an interview for a specific job, your job. And so now the exercise will be, you will be put in a room with 2 other people.
Okay.
And each of them will be sharing the story of what made them choose this career.
Okay.
Does it sound clear?
Yeah. Is the career whatever is being planned or designated is of the own? Is something like I need to frame a story like pitching in how I am fond of, or even more matching to that kind. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Not more matching to that. Not more matching. It's why did you choose that?
Okay. Fine.
But
Yes.
Anna,
Clear.
you have only 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
Only
please.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Please.
All right. Okay. I will transfer you now.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You can hit join. Yes. No problem. You can choose join and then you will be transferred. Okay. Perfect.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay.
I write down that they have 4 minutes left.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you for keeping the time. Excellent.
Actually, now are 3. Okay. When are you coming back to Finland, Tarek?
I'm thinking in April, around April.
Okay, so 1 month.
Yeah. Yes, in about a month. I don't have my return ticket booked yet, but that's kind of around the date, the month I'm looking back for. How about yourself?
August.
Oh, nice. Very nice. That's my month. I was born in August.
Me too. When?
3rd.
I like my husband. No, I'm born 18th.
Nice. We're in the same month. We're the August people.
Yeah, my husband 3rd of August. How old are you,
What are
Tarek?
the odds? I am 28.
No, you're so young.
Yeah.
I'm like 10 years older than you.
That's amazing. That's 10 more years of golden experience.
No, Tarek. In my brain, I'm still 17.
Of course.
I just
By the way, how are your twins doing?
Fine. I just can hear them screaming in the background, but otherwise they're fine.
Oh no. Oh no.
No, but in general, they're very fine. Thank you. Growing fine.
Growing fine, growing fast.
Yeah, too fast. They are already 4 months.
Oh my God, I remember the last session we gave was when they were just born.
Yes.
Yeah, so it has been 4 months, yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Time has flown very fast this winter.
Mm.
Okay, 1 minute.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Left. I mistype left. I hope people don't mind. What do you saying? Take your time in the chat. I didn't understand.
1 minute left. What does she mean?
Okay, I'm gonna close the rooms.
Oh yeah, when I said TYT, yeah, take your time. I was talking to Caroline. So she said she's going, and I typed right away TYT, but it was only to you, not to everybody. Oh, so embarrassing.
I was like, well, okay, it's time. I take them back. Okay.
Perfect. Yes, yes. Close the rooms. Absolutely. Let's have them
We
back.
have 60 seconds. Unfortunately, this is a Zoom set. Yeah, people are enjoying their chat. Nobody's coming back. Ah, now they're starting.
Nice. Welcome back, everybody.
Seeing people have been enjoying their chat in the rooms because they're waiting to the last second to come back.
To the last second. Well, there was definitely very interesting stories.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yes, Maria is back. Maya is back.
Now everybody.
Lenka is back. Okay, now everybody. Okay,
sorry, we're so engaged.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh yes, it seems like it. I can see the smiles. This is beautiful. How was it, guys? I would like some discussion or feedback from what happened in the rooms. We were all here and we missed all the fun stuff. So how about somebody tells us, how was it?
You know, people are interviewing during the interview are so great that I would hire them. Like, I don't know why. I'm still looking for a job. Yes.
That's a nice feedback, Anastasia. They were so good. She wants to hire you already. Although she's looking for a job herself, but she's like, I want them both in my company. Thank you, Anastasia.
Yeah, for my side,
how about someone else? Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, I actually.
Hey, Rich. Yes.
Yeah, I cannot thank you enough, International Working Women of Finland and you, for putting us all in this. I actually met someone who is in a company that is one of those I am targeting in. So it was like, wow, thank you. Now it's on me now.
That's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Look at the odds. This has been totally random.
Yes, and it is positive. Very positive. Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you for the feedback. All right, so we have a hand raised. Orondiba.
Yes. Well, I had kind of the same experience. I think when I heard people speaking, it's very interesting to hire them. Of course, we didn't have a specific job. I have a company, but they were not applying for a job in my company. But from the stories they tell, I would say they're internationally orientated, which is very interesting. But yeah, well, so I had kind of the same idea. I don't understand why they should not be hired by any company because the vision is very broad.
Exactly. Thank you so much for saying that. And I think this is the power of stories. You see, one of my very good friends, he's a published author in storytelling, and we were once in the sauna and we were thinking, what makes a good story? I mean, he's a trainer of storytelling for presidents and prime ministers in Finland. So he's kind of like, he's that guy. And he was like, you know, I've been always thinking, is there a model, maybe a 5-step model for storytelling? And I asked him before this session today, I told him, can I share it with everybody here today? And he said, sure. If only you tell them that this has been a model that was discovered in a sauna, I will agree with it. So here you go, guys. This is the sauna model for storytelling. And the first part of any story that makes it wonderful, that makes Orandiba, you know, a consultancy, he tells us that he would want to hire us, and more or less we all feel the same way, is because every story, first part, ready? Every story has a protagonist. It has a hero. There's a hero of the story. And every story has a climax. And that's the really interesting part, is every story is reaching the climax. And as we funnel down, we're trying to concentrate on the climax, we are always reaching the third element. So we have a hero, there's a climax, and it's clearly identified in our story. And the third element, and that's the most important element, it's the learning outcome. We all shared stories and they all had embedded values and learning experiences, but there was always a learning outcome. If it's not clear, the interviewer will lose us. He'll say, so why are you telling me about your grandma again? Like, how does this help you in the job? So you want to make sure the learning outcome is quite clear and you want to actually say that story. If it's not relevant, please don't use it. Learning outcome. And then an interesting part, that's what he found through his years of storytelling and training people, is that all stories, they have this, how to say it, it's like a violinist playing, you know, the chords, they have to always have a tension. If there's no tension in the story, if there's no ups and downs, it is not interesting anymore. You will not want to turn the page, or in our case, you will not want to listen to the interviewer. Nobody wants to hear a story about how you went to the park in Turku and you had an ice cream cone and it was great. End of story. You're like, didn't the ice cream fall on the ground and then there was a child screaming? No? Well, it's not an interesting story anymore. So there has to be some tension. There has to be a climax identified, and so on and so forth. And the last element, the fifth one, I would like to ask you all to guess what it is. Like, let's have 3 guesses. Who would like to guess what is the last element of a story? I think some people already know this. You can, of course, go for it if you do.
A happy ending?
No.
Climax?
But of course, it's
Emotions?
nice. Huh?
Yeah,
It should be something personal, no? Something
you
giving
said
emotions.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. I let everybody speak at the same time. My bad. All right, raise your hand. Arjun said something on the text box, the moral. That's the learning outcome. So that's definitely there. Somebody was speaking. Was it Sajal or?
Okay.
Yes, Sajal.
Climax. No, that is
that's already there. That's the 4th element. How about Anastasia?
I think probably it's emotions that you can share with people, no? That emotional part of the story.
Emotions, they add to the tension for sure. They add to the tension. They make it really, like, they're part of that tension part. So emotions are definitely an integral element. But there's a 5th one. How about Ayush? Can you guess it?
I think direction or setting, like how you portray the story.
Hey, you're close. What do you mean?
For example, like you have to be like crisp and precise, like where to put, like, for example, if you are explaining ups and downs, where to put it. If you are adding some funny element to a story, where to put it. For example, like storyline, you know, timeline, or you can say like how the story goes,
timeline,
like character, or maybe something.
Okay, hold on. You're close. Okay, hold on. Lanka?
Isn't it like the personal touch, that like who is it about, in a way that
that's the protagonist, the hero.
Who I am, or something like that.
Not there yet, but it's definitely important. It's definitely in the protagonist. Okay, hold on. How about Maria?
The connection that should, how the story should finish. We did all the yeah.
Not there yet. That's all within the first fourth. Okay. I'll take the final two. Reach, and then I'll take Akshandra.
Okay. So
yeah, I think I'm guessing the fifth one would be the resolution of a conflict that you created in the climax.
Not really. By the way, people, this is something to keep in mind. People usually lose interest after the climax has reached. So people are like, yeah, whatever. They kind of stop listening. But okay, hold on. How about Akshandra?
Okay, so I just have one thing to share. Actually, what happened, like I think I have shared this with Tarek. So it's like, how will you bring the quality which you are trying to portray in the story into the job? Very like, how will you connect the dots? Like, I don't care about some stories that happened and like something like that. So something I told Nokia asked me, snowstorm running with weights. What's that? She asked, and I said, I run under any circumstance and I get the job done under any circumstance. So I connected how they are related. How like what as like a hero in my story, what I'm doing, I will bring it to the job. How I'll straight away bring it to the job. Or for example, I told this in Ernst & Young. They were like, before the interview, we are going to grill you. And I'm like, in the interview, this is grilling? Oh come on. 5 meters, like look at one of my hobbies, free diving. 5 meters under the water, I am not afraid. So I am like, in the story, I'm the protagonist. I'm in a very like a bad situation. Like you should create a situation in which you are like struggling and you're like really in a huge stressful area. So 5 meters under the water, I'm in stress. I may die. I'm not afraid. Then how Akshandra. And what is this interview in front of it? Akshandra. So connecting the dots.
Yeah. Akshandra, can I stop you there and say that you have said it without saying it?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Let's take your example. The example is clear. We have a learning outcome, which is definitely that you're a person who works well under stress. As a matter of fact, you work well under 20 meters. So under 20 meters of water, right? You're a free diver. You're holding your breath. You can't take extra breath underwater, and you have to manage your stuff. So now we get the learning outcome when we see the tension and we see how the story is and we see the climax and we know you're the hero of the story. But what made it a story was that we visualized it, guys. That was the fifth element, the visualization. We were able to imagine you underwater in your swimming shorts. That's exactly what makes a story. It's the last part, which is the visualization. This is and thank you guys for trying. Like you tried a lot, and I really enjoyed a little bit teasing you. Like, okay, yes, close enough, not close. But that was it. The visualization. When we say stories, we say things like underwater. We can imagine him swimming. We can say things like, I was on the phone in my kitchen. Right away, people can imagine what's going on. And stories with just facts don't become stories. They become product descriptions. So you want to, again, infuse that visualization a bit. Of course, you're not going to sit in an interview and say, it was a sunny summer evening. I was by the Aurayoki and the birds were going around. And then suddenly one of the birds made a poop in my lap. You got to draw the line, right? Where how much visualization you want, but like a little bit makes the story engaging. So balancing those definitely goes a long way. So I hope you guys like now incorporate what we've been doing, incorporate the stories that we've been asking and like adding it to your actual personal story that, like Akshandra said, I think really nicely, is how does it tie into the job? What's the learning outcome and what does it show about yourself? This is how definitely interviewers go like, he is different. And speaking of different, I'd like to get to the fourth element of the day. And that's what already we've been talking with Joseph about it a little bit. And I want to say it in a nicer way, but I'm not able to. And so I'll just show you my screen and I'll let my screen do the talking. What makes you weird? Exactly. Okay, somebody's laughing already. I can hear your microphone. I'm not sure who's laughing.
Like, what doesn't make me weird?
What doesn't make me? It's like, I am weird. Like, I'm born that way. But I think this is a very vital question to ask. And I'd like to ask it to all of you here today. And by weird, we're not talking about something out of like something like, okay, I like to eat bananas in my underwear. We're not going there. We're going about things that have to do with your job, that make you, okay, I can see a lot of you laughing, guys, but let's focus. So basically, we're trying to do something that to show who we really are, but more importantly, and I think Johan talked about this, is to stand our grounds firmly. Like, let's say I am an introvert and I'm applying to this job where they are expected to have those extroverts, salesy kind of guys, or all over the place and doing things. That's not me. But at the same time, I do know for a fact that I will do a great job. Like Akshindra said, underwater, I can take stress. I'm that guy. I might not be your extrovert, but I have my weirdalities in a way. Yes, I am a little bit different than your usual, but this is me. And owning it is something so tricky because very often we start taking the form and shape of the job description, especially when we read it before the interview. We go like, okay, I did my research, or what they're looking for somebody who's active, outgoing, We just read the criteria, and then we go acting like that person, and it's not even us. And I think that's where the disconnect happens, where the interviewer was like, is that you? Hold on, what's going on? And it doesn't sound right. And people usually then don't get the job. But if you're still holding your ground, it goes a long way. I'd like to tell you a story about Martha, a friend of mine. She was like a chameleon. We called her a chameleon Martha, because Martha, there was no job she did not get. She worked in Apple, she worked in Samsung and Microsoft. Like, she's worked in a lot of companies and they're all techie, and she doesn't even have a tech background. Like, she was that person. She was great at sales. She was great at event management. And interestingly, she was always, this was her key. She's like, I will always get a job if I can get on a phone call first with the employer. And I said, what do you do with the employer? Like, do you promise them something? Like, okay, I'll offer you this discount. Like, what do you do? What do you sell them? She's like, I don't sell at all. In the call, I am analyzing what do they actually need. So she goes beyond the job interview, and she just goes like, okay, what are the challenges you're facing? What are you doing? And according to what she gets from this call, she sits down and she becomes that person. She actually just changes who she is completely, and she becomes that person. She can tone down, she can tone up. And of course, I was like, Martha, I think I have a problem with what you're doing. It's almost not authentic. And she's like, yeah, but it's sales at the end of the day. I'm selling myself. So that was her way of doing things. It might not be the best for everybody. And I think it's also good to know where to draw the line between who you are and the person that they're looking for, and what can you add to the table. I remember once I was in an interview and I told the interviewer, I told him, it seems like you're looking for a person who is on the same wavelength as you are. And the CEO, suddenly he took a step back, because he was really like drilling, like, this is what we understand. Like, okay, so why do you even hire me to help you with a different worldview if this is your only way? And I had to ask it. I'm like, okay, is this what you're looking for? And he said, actually, no, I don't want to hire another me. I do want somebody different. And suddenly I started working with them, because I was definitely different. I was not what they're looking for, like in that perspective, in terms of character. I could offer the skills, but in character, I was not the usual. And it seems for some reason they kind of thought about it. Maybe this is something that we were looking for. And I think this is something that you can all, again, sit on the sofa in the underwear with bananas and think about it. Say, all right, what makes me weird? All right. And this brings us to the last part of the day, last question of the day. And again, I would like to show it to you, because it's something that I find very tricky to answer myself. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's even tricky for me to pronounce it. So I think it's better if I show it to you. What is your sine qua non? Who here knows what sine qua non? We're going to do another round of guessing. Who knows what sine qua non is? Okay, Lucia knows. All right, Lucia, what is it?
No, I'll let other people guess. Go ahead.
Okay, sure.
Is it your limit?
Close. Monica, close. It has to do with limits. Exactly. What it means is like what cannot be done without. So basically, if this is not there, you will not do it. You will not continue forward. So it's, yes, Diana?
So it's your set of values which you're not ready to bargain with.
Love it. What is the set of values that you're not ready to bargain with? I'd like to give you 3 minutes. And please do think about this. All right? I'll just give you 3 minutes and write down what is your sine qua non. For example,
can you repeat the question exactly? Can you repeat the question?
Yes. I will repeat the question. Sine qua non means if something is not present in a company, you will not be able to work with them. Basically, this one kind of reverses. Oh, Caroline says in French, we say sine qua non, condition, if I pronounce it right. Yes.
Condition,
so what does it mean,
yes.
Condition, okay. Thank you, Caroline. So basically, one of my friends, he's actually a hospital owner, and I asked him once this question. I told him, "What's your sine qua non?" He said, "All throughout my experience in the healthcare sector, and this is a very tricky thing, is that we always are pushed to use certain medicines and to use certain machines." And he said, "My sine qua non is I will never join an establishment that is prioritizing using certain materials or certain, let's say, medications versus what's actually good for the patient." So his sine qua non is he will never join an establishment. And he was like, "I would have not been the CEO of this hospital if they had been the ones using those, medications just because there's monetary incentives from the industry." So his sine qua non is he will never provide such treatment. Another sine qua non, and that was quite interesting. Oh, we have the definition in the chat box. Another sine qua non that I found very interesting was also from a colleague of mine. He said, "When I was working in Finland, one of the things I was looking for in an employer is that they're not authoritative." This was very important for him. He said, "I want to work as equals, that we're all part of the same team. If I see that that person is having this authoritative stance, I'm out of the job." That was his sine qua non. And until now, he's still working in Finland. It's been, I think, 3 years he's working in Finland. And I asked him very recently, I told him, "All right, hey, I'm having a workshop and I want to ask you about your sine qua non. Is it still holding?" He said, "Yeah, Tarek, it's since the first day. I was looking for it. I did not see any authoritative kind of behavior. And until this day, I'm still working the same job because I love it. We're always speaking as equals." So that's something that was his sine qua non. We have 30 seconds to meditate over this final question.
Tarek, when you can, we have another question in the chat for you from Riyadh.
Okay, let me.
She's asking how the story connects with employers at the personal level.
Can you repeat the question, Lucia?
Yes, Riyadh is asking how the story connects to the employers at the personal level. Maybe if he wants to unmute himself or herself and specify a bit more, we can understand better. But I think it is asking how can you tell your story to the employers and why is important?
Perfect.
If I understood.
Perfect, Riaz. Yes, I think I meant how the story connects to the employer at a personal level. I was reading a book 2 days ago. It's by Jordan Peterson. He's a clinical psychologist. He's a famous person. He's quite famous, like millions on YouTube and stuff like that. In his book, it was very interesting how he was arguing that stories are what made us humans who we are today. And he said, even science is backed by a story. As a matter of fact, he was arguing so hard to the point he said, why scientists do science is because they want to improve the world as we know it today, and by that create these discoveries that allow us to live a better life and improve our health and improve equality and sustainability around the world. This is what science, this is the story behind science. This is why we're researching, this is why we're improving, this is why big companies are doing R&D, research and development. It's because we want to improve humanity as we know it. And he said, although science is very particular, but still science has a story. And he made a very funny joke. He said, you don't find your kids coming and tugging on your pants and saying, hey, dad, tell us the periodic table again. But they would ask you about the story that created the periodic table. So that's why kids over and over again, they want to hear the same story. Like we get bored. We're like, oh, again, Pinocchio. All right, fine, let's do it. We make them watch the same movies over and over again because the story is having all those intricate levels. And when you're choosing a story that, for example, Akshandra has had a really nice example, and I'm going to use it because most of us here heard it today. He does free diving in his free time. And free diving, you hold your breath and you go underwater. There's no more breath that you can take. It's only one breath and you go deep. And he actually used that story for an employer when he asked him, like, do you function well under stress? He said, I do stress for a living. That's my hobby. So this is something that of course in stories we're relating. Like if you want to say, for example, that you're good at something, it's always nice to get a story. I'll tell you a little secret. Managers do this, by the way. There is a book that's called Break All the Rules. I've read that book like 3 years ago. It's like the #1 book every manager should read. It's called First, Break All the Rules. It's by Gallup Institute, and it has researched over 1 million employees and managers. Like it's a big research that has been done in the business world. So this Bible of managers, they say in interviews, when you're interviewing for talents, you ask them about a challenge that you have, and you ask them when is the last time they have overcome such a challenge or a similar challenge. So basically, they want you to tell them a story from your past that had said exactly how you faced the situation. And they're saying the person who's able to get a story is the person you want to hire. Imagine. And the person who does not have such a story or such an example is a person that maybe you don't want to hire because they're not facing the challenges that you want to be solved. So they want to, it's not like a CV. They're not like just looking for skills, but they're looking for something actionable. And if you will say some action that you've taken, you possibly, and most probably, you will use a story as an example of how you faced the situation. But thank you so much for that question. I'd like to give the last few minutes for a little Q&A, any questions for us to, before we say our goodbyes. We have about 7 minutes. Does anybody have any questions at this point? Any thoughts you would like to share it with the group? Yes, Lenka?
Yeah, maybe I have, because I've been thinking about it throughout the seminar, how, like, where to put emphasis. Like, should we put more emphasis on kind of like telling the story who we are, or like more about then work skills or employment, how we got into employment, kind of like how to balance that, like saying that I'm qualified, I have this experience that you require with examples, or kind of like talking about soft skills, because this is something I don't know how to balance.
It's an excellent question. It's an excellent question. Thank you so much for bringing it up. So that's I think something that we always think about, like, where do I draw the line? How do I balance? And it's definitely a mixture of both. Definitely, it's starting off by this is who I am, and that's how I got to this job, what I got in the skill, like the story of why you are here with us today, applying for this job, already embeds so many things in the middle, Lenka. It embeds all those beautiful things that we're looking for. It's always nice to have this little introduction and then just holding off. Like, take that pause and you see where the next question leads. That's what will always happen. I remember, like, this is very funny. Most of the employers, they ask you, so what brings you here today? Or they ask weird questions like, so tell us about you. And people are like, but haven't you just seen my CV? Like, I sent you a resume, a motivation letter, a CV. I've sent you all these things and you still want me to say more. And I think that's the perfect time where you can right away tell them, yeah, this is what I'm interested. This is what, you can embed as much as you want in a very short time and be quiet. Let them enjoy the silence. Of course, they won't. They're going to itch in their seat and be like, and they get to the point because they're going to start asking you, all right, in your CV, you mentioned you have done this extracurricular activities. Tell us more about it. Now we're talking. Now there's a lot more stories that, okay, what are you guys looking for? And I think this also brings a nice point that like it came to my mind now is, how about your questions as well? How about your sine qua non as well? It will show when you have these prepared beforehand, when you have answered the 5 questions, you will automatically, you don't need to worry, Lanka, it will come automatically that you will be fishing for what makes you happy. You'll also be in that leadership position. And that's what people usually want. They want somebody who is good to work with, but also can have some initiative on their end. Thank you, Lanka. Ayush? Okay, we have a few hands. All right, so Ayush, I see you now.
I would like to add something to your point. So earlier when I was applying to many jobs, I was barely getting any like replies back. I was just getting rejections. But then what changed was that like if I'm applying for a particular job, I used to visit their web page and like their website, and then I see what kind of things they are doing there and like what kind of research they are doing. So that helped me to make a specific motivation letter for that company. So I was able to get into many interviews, and when the interview was like asking me questions, so that content, like I used to mention that, oh, I have seen that your company is working on this technology and like you have set up a plant, or maybe like or I've seen that you're currently interested in IoT, I can offer you this and that. So maybe like that was very, very positive from the employer's point of view, because they know that like, like the person who they're talking to, they knows like what's going on in the company. So maybe like, that will be helpful to all other people. Like that's what, like a short tip I wanted to share with you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What makes them awesome? That's like the golden key. It's the key to people's heart. Thank you so much, Ayush. How about Reach?
Yeah, Tarek, thank you so much for all these principles and methods in a nutshell, and the exercise. I love it. My question is, in your experience or research or whatever it is that you could share today, in the Finnish context, what do we need to look for or be careful of when pitching?
I think Finns are very honest, and they like things to be quite precise. So of course, storytelling is nice, but stick to the facts. Like as long as you don't exaggerate, because it's very often that people say things and then Finns are taking everything literally. Like they don't have this exaggeration in their culture at all. And I come from Egypt, we exaggerate all the time. You come back from work and say, oh my God, there was like 1 million cars in the street. A Finn would be like, 1 million, but it's only 2 lanes. That takes 1,000 cars. It can't be 1 million, but it's a figure of speech. So this is something I would say that you want to keep in mind, is that as long as you're speaking the honest truth, it's good. You're speaking exactly what happened. It's good. It's important to not beautify a bit more, because sometimes there's a cultural thing. Like I have to say 1 million cars to get the point across. No, if you say it's crowded, they get it. Oh, it's crowded. That does the point. I would say this is like just something off the bat.
Okay, but doesn't it?
And Caroline also had something. She said with Finnish recruiters, especially older ones, get to the point and be straight. That's her advice. I think it's an excellent advice. Exactly. Yeah. It's not a culture where people talk for hours. So just get the facts.
Yeah, but then because a pitch is like less than a minute. But then I just have this kind of fear where in the effort to be really honest and straight to the point, get to the point, you actually become a boring. It tends to become a boring story.
Okay, that's a fantastic point. I've seen tons of pitches. I'm so happy that I've got the opportunity to see tons of pitches, but I've seen 30-second stories that are life-changing. So it is possible. Like, for example, I'll tell you one small story about Henry Ford when he was saying about how you don't want to listen to what people want, like market research. He was against market research at some point. And he said, if I would have went out to the streets and asked people what do they want, they would have told me, build faster horses. That's it. That's his take on research. Sometimes you need to offer people something else. A car, for instance. So it's hard. It's really hard to make a story much shorter. They say a famous author once wrote a 600-page book, and they told him, why did you write 600 pages? He said, I didn't have time. When we don't have time to make it shorter, we'll just elongate it. But thank you so much, Reach. We'll take the last question.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Arjun, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Yes. Thanks. So yeah, wonderful session first of all. And my question would be, one question that I always struggle with is, what are your strengths and weaknesses? So how honest should we be in that question? Because I'm being asked what my weakness is, and I say something, then the next question is, how do you overcome it? Had I already overcome it, then why would I be admitting that I have a weakness like right now? That doesn't make sense at all. So I'm like, how honest should I be at that moment, or what should I say? Should I make it up? Or yeah, that's one question that I struggle with all the time.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic question. And a lot of people, they go through this saying, for example, oh, I overwork, I am a hard worker, and I get burnt out. So, that's one way to look at it. But I think being as considerate to your limitations is important. But talking bad about yourself is like a self-confidence problem. Like, I think having to know who you are, what makes you weird, what is your story, why did you choose the job, having these solid, what is your sine qua non, having them really solid will not affect what you say in the negative. It will not affect it at all. And you can, of course, be smart about it. You can say something that you think is negative, for example, that could be taken both ways. Like, for instance, some people, and I've seen this many times, they're actually too agreeable. That could be negative if you think about it, because you're never really going to get your point across, and you might be a little, but being too agreeable also means to the employer that you're quite diplomatic, and that means you're going to have a good kind of, you're going to maintain the culture. You're not coming to just fight with people and get your point across. So something along these lines, if it's true, you can, of course, say it. But then again, you want to be very confident about who you actually are. If you're kind with people, then that's who you are. It might be a negative thing. It might be a positive thing. So if you get my point, like, you can mention basically pretty much anything as long as you know who you really are and you're solid about these facts. You can mention it as a disadvantage because it's something that you want to work on. You can say, for example, oh, I don't have much knowledge about this. I saw that's one of the things that you're looking for. I don't have that much knowledge, but I'm willing to work. I'm willing to dive so deep like Akshandra, for instance.
Also, one thing to add here, since you just mentioned me, we can also use some humor. We can just add some humor, like, hey, I have got, like, the iPhone has got bugs, it drains, battery drains, I have got this bug, and this is how I'm debugging myself. So it's like saying that I am not my weakness, I have weakness, and this is how, like, just use like an analogy that I am a software, I have this bug, and Akshendra 3.0 will not have this
analogy.
This features.
Analogy.
Yeah, something like that. And Akshendra 2.0, analogy. Akshendra 2.0 has this bugs, and this is how he's debugging himself. And in the next release, Akshendra 3.0 will not have it. Something like that.
For example, yes. For example. Thank you so much, Akshandra. Thank you, Arjun, for the question. And I'll take something that Reach said. By the way, guys, we have posted a link. I have posted a link in the chat, and that is a feedback form. We would really appreciate it if you can fill that feedback form so that we can make the future sessions more interactive, more engaging, and even better. You can see it right in front of Rich's comment. If you can take a few minutes of your time, I think it would take you like 4 minutes long, or if even shorter. If you can just fill in the feedback, it would be fantastic, just for us to improve this. And
two requests for feedbacks, because Megumi even sent you one by email, so you have plenty of space to express yourself.
We have more feedback. Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. This is fantastic.
Yeah,
And I will read.
one is event value score that we are collecting, and that's only one question that you click, and the other one is that the one just Tarek sent to the chat box. So we appreciate the feedback to both.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
I think we reached our time today with Tarek. It was a really entertaining session. Thanks for joining. And
thank you all. Thank you for the discussions. I really appreciate it. And please do. Oh my God. Thank you, Arjun. Arjun said it's like TEDx. Wow. Thank you so much. And guys, please do connect. Let's stay in touch. And I would love to see how your journeys continue as we go. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anastasia. I appreciate it. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katya. Thanks,
so
Jessica.
waiting for your feedbacks, and see you next
Thanks,
Wednesday
Ayush.
when we are going to talk about the LinkedIn clinic. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the week.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.